Hey everyone, this is your girl, That Rivers Girl, and welcome to another episode of That Rivers Girl of the Rivers Report podcast show. I am your host, That Rivers Girl, and today we have a very, very, very special guest today. She is a lifestyle coach. She's also a motivational speaker. Also, she has her own jewelry line, and she has a great testimony, you guys, to share with us. All right, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the show Ms. Jennifer Cook.
Hello. Thank you, Patrice, for having me, and I thank you for sharing this platform with your audience, and I'm sure it's going to reach so many others. Good evening, everyone that is tuning in. It's none other than Jennifer C. Cook, your Triple C CEO, the one that consistently builds class, confidence, and courage.
Wow, I like the introduction. Because reading your bio is really, really interesting, so definitely. And how you started your business and everything. So that is good.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. So before we get into this, I want to know the Triple C CEO. I mean, how did you get that name?
One day I was standing in my kitchen washing dishes, and it just came to me. You know, with my last name being Cook, and then my middle name starts with a C, it just sort of rang clearly in my head. And because of the fact that I'm a motivational speaker, I often tell people I am your next Ayanna Van Zandt, and I have so much respect for her. You know, having a catchy phrase and slogan like that sets me apart from everybody else. And so when people now hear Jennifer C. Cook, they think of the Triple C CEO, class, confidence, and courage. So it kind of all melds into one.
Okay. I gotcha. That makes sense now. I was wondering, I was reading the bio, I'm like, I was wondering how did you get that name, but I like that. So for those that don't know the backstory on how you started your business, can you just give us a little bit, insight to your story?
Absolutely. Well, first of all, I am the youngest of six, a native of New York. In fact, my father is from Portsmouth, Virginia. And I know, Miss Rivers Girls, you're down in that area somewhere. So all throughout my life, I've been exposed to Southern cooking, all of that good, juicy stuff. I tell everyone on Sundays in our house, it was Thanksgiving every Sunday. I mean, literally. My father made fresh baked bread, and he would fry up food, and collard greens, mac and cheese, you name it, and he did it. So, of course, as a child growing up, you ate what was put in front of you, and over time, that becomes a part of you. And so as my life began to morph and grow and expand, I started to gain weight. And so in gaining weight, you don't always have the greatest amount of confidence, but when you're a child, you really don't think about things like that. It really doesn't start to hit you until you are a little bit older, high school, college, different things like that. And so, it just kept going. The constant weight gain, always increasing. I tell everybody, I've always been a chubby little girl from the beginning, but I just kept adding the pounds on. So then eventually I found someone who I thought was my forever person, who happened to be my junior high school sweetheart, and we ended up getting married, but it was not a very good marriage. And therefore, food became my comfort. And so one day, and I'm just giving the abridged version of my life, one day I woke up, and here I am, unhappy, nearly 300 pounds. I'm only 5'2", and I felt like my life was just out of control. And so with all of the stuff that I had been going through, being in an unhappy, unhealthy marriage, there was, mental abuse, verbal abuse, physical abuse, spiritual abuse, financial abuse, you name it, and it all took form in the relationship. And so finally, when I got the courage to say, you know what, enough is enough, we got divorced in October of 2001. that began to change my whole thinking process. So I lived in Baltimore, Maryland for about 8 years, and I started, working out. I went vegetarian, due to the coaching of one of my good girlfriends, and I dropped weight. But then I picked the weight back up. So fast forward where I currently am now in Charlotte, North Carolina, I had started working out again, trying to get my life together, but my mind wasn't right. And I was like, okay, am I doing this for me or am I doing it for other people? So ultimately, what ended up happening is I have been blessed to give birth to my one and only, and he is now 6 years old.
Aww.
And Mother's Day, yes, he's my impetus for life, to be healthy, happy, and whole. And so one Mother's Day about 3 years ago, might have even been 4 almost. Yeah, we're approaching 4. I said, I've got to do something about my weight. I looked at a picture of myself and did not like what I saw, Patrice. And so I took full control. I got help from the doctors and a good team of people to support me. And here I am. I mean, in totality, I've lost 110 pounds. And so, of course, that's been over the span of years. But my first year after that Mother's Day, the first year, not even a year, Patrice, I'll be honest with you, probably was about 6 or 7 months, I was down 70 pounds. And that was because I had taken out all of the junk food. I had taken out the sugar, the carbohydrates, and I was going hard. I was hitting that gym like 5 days a week, and I was taking my son with me to the gym because I purposefully joined a gym where he could go, and they had a child care center. And I would take him in his car seat, walk him in with it in his hand, and we went, and Mommy got her workout in. And so that's how Fashion the Mind, Fashion the Figure came about, because I looked at myself in the mirror, and God's word says, as a man thinks, so is he. And so when I looked at myself, in the beginning, I didn't like what I saw, but over time, I began to love myself, and I began to nurture myself. And so I said, you know what? I see a lot of my young ladies out here, and not even just my young ladies, but even some of my women. We're constantly being bombarded by social media, fashion, and all these other things that weigh on us. And it dictates to us versus us dictating to them how we should look and feel about ourselves. And so what I said was, if I can get into the mind of an individual and help transform their thinking, then I know I'll transform their figure, because they will walk with their heads held up high, their shoulders broadened, they'll have a smile on their face, and they'll have more class, confidence, and courage. And that's how we have today Fashion the Mind, Fashion the Figure.
Wow, I like that platform, Fashion the Mind, Fashion the Figure. Because at first, when I saw your page on Instagram, cause I saw all the jewelry, and I was thinking that was the first thing I thought about was the jewelry. But I didn't realize the story, the backstory of it, of your actual business.
Yes.
Fashion the Mind, Fashion the Figure. So you started that in 2015, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, with the Fashion the Mind, Fashion the Figure, what type of events or what is the mission of the whole organization? Do you have events, workshops, or how does that go about?
Well, I tend to participate more in other people's events because as a motivational speaker, I go out to various audiences. Just this past Saturday, I spoke at a mother and daughter fashion show. And so with the brands of my business, a lot of people think that it is fashion focused when really it's more mind focused. And so I go into these environments and I do these presentations, but I actually have not put on any events per se. I do more of collaboratives because what I am finding, Patrice, we can get so much more done and make a larger impact and reach more people when we collaborate. And so rather than running solo all the time and trying to be, the brains behind the operation, I've been fortunate and blessed enough that people see me on Facebook or Instagram, or they'll meet me in person, and they'll say, come on over, we need your services, we need you to come and speak. So, I've done the gamut. I've been seminar facilitators, I've been a panel moderator, I've done it all, and I just love being a part of what other people are doing while it yet allows me to be authentically me. But looking forward, and right now my marketing exec and I, we're working on some things. We are going to start to do some workshops, and probably not until later this year into the early part of 2020, but we are going to start doing some workshops targeting and focusing on those three key elements. I always present those elements in my messages, but now to get people in a more intimate setting where we can delve a little bit deeper so people can truly understand that class is not about your socioeconomic status. Class is about your brand. I always teach people, if someone says the name Patrice or Jennifer, what are the first things that they think of us? And this is a part of your branding of self, the branding of your reputation. So we're going to start looking at those types of things coming down in the future so that people can get a little bit closer to me, because I think that's what's starting to happen now. You know, my audience, my name is getting out there, and people are like, oh, my gosh, you're so energetic, you're so exciting, you're so dynamic. So now I have to open up my world for people to come in and sit with me, and we can have those intimate conversations, but in a smaller group environment. So that is definitely coming the latter part of this year and into next.
Wow, that is good. So then since your business launched in 2015, I guess I know you do a lot of events. Like, what other type of events do you do? Like, I know there's a lot probably within that time.
Well, for one, I've done all types of events with women's shelters. I've done events. And when you say events, I'll say this, Patrice, because like I said, I'm not the one who puts the events together. I usually am riding shotgun with another group, organization, etc. But I was the panel moderator for WEX, which is Women in Power Expo, started up by Alexa Carlin. She's out of the Fort Lauderdale area. I first started out as one of her brand ambassadors, but then last year in 2018, she brought me on board to moderate her panel for Elevate Your Personal Brand. Then I've also participated in the SSS Movement Single Parent Forum. I was the panel moderator for that, as well as someone giving their share and their story on being a single parent. You know, I've also been a part of other events that have dealt with beauty and confidence. Dr. Sahira Bryant, right here in Charlotte, North Carolina, she has an organization called Glam for Life, and I sat on their panel last year. So I tend to be a part of a lot of panel discussions, workshops, and seminars. So that's where a lot of people can find me. And if they troll my social media pages, they'll be able to know where I am and when I'm going to be there.
Well, that is good that you do a lot of collaboration with other brands, so you can get your brand out there and, share your insight. So it's good that you're doing a lot of panel discussions.
Thank you.
Other events.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Because I've never done any, because, like I said, my brand still finding myself. I mean, I'm an author, and I do other stuff too, interview people, so I'm still trying to, figure out everything.
Yes. And it takes time. And, of course, you want to make sure that they're the right strategic alignments, because everybody's message doesn't echo your message. So you just have to be very careful in the vetting process. I don't co-sign and get on any group or organization until I understand what their mission and purpose is. And if it's not about uplifting people's lives and helping them to understand the value of who they are as an individual, then we don't work together.
Exactly. So you do travel different places as well outside of North Carolina. I know you. I was reading through your bio that where you're from New York. Is that correct?
I am born and raised.
I've never been to New York. I mean, a lot of people I interview either from Atlanta or New York.
Really? Well, we got to get you to both of those locations.
Yes. Go to New York to visit. Atlanta, I've never been there. So I'm like, and it's not that far from Virginia. But I don't know why.
No, it isn't. Like I said, my dad is from Portsmouth, so we literally would come down 95, and after he got past Delaware, we'd be on 13 on our way all the way down to Portsmouth.
Yeah, I love Portsmouth. Portsmouth, I live in Suffolk. Grew up in Suffolk, basically both Portsmouth and Suffolk. My grandparents, they from the Portsmouth area.
Okay.
Yeah, from the 757. Yep.
Wow. It's a small world. I mean, Portsmouth is small, but it's big, you know. So when I talk to people and they're like, "Oh yeah, I know about Portsmouth," I'm like, "You do, really?"
So basically, what are the next, I guess, upcoming projects you have going on, like for the rest of the year?
Well, right now, I'm sort of on a little bit of a hiatus. Now, I'm actually speaking at a conference next Saturday. But pretty much once we start getting into June and July, Mommy needs some mommy time. And Mommy's going to be shipping off the little boy to spend the summer in New York with my family, and she's going to travel. So for right after May, it's going to get quiet. We will not heat back up until September. And so right now there's still some roundtable discussions taking place on things that I'll be doing and events that I'll be participating in. So my marketing team and I, we're still strategizing, Patrice. I'm just going to be very candid with you and your audience. Right. We're still strategizing because we want to make it impactful. I'm tired of people doing events and they're not impactful, transformative, and people are not walking away with tangibles. And I know that a lot of times we get caught up in the moment and it feels good, it feels great, and everybody loves the networking aspects of it. But what do we do when these events are over? Are people forming and forging relationships that are mutually beneficial? You know, are people establishing collaboratives that can both catapult your brand, my brand, and somebody else's brand? So we're looking at those types of things as to whom we would want to align ourselves with and what would be the best rollout plan for Fashion the Mind, Fashion the Figure, as well as our potential partners. So once May is up, Mom will be on hiatus for June, July, and probably most of August. You know, one of the things that I even share with other business owners, I know we're working, but if you do not carve out time to refuel, re-energize, reconnoiter, you're going to be one of those entrepreneurs that will faint mid-race. And I am adamant about people taking vacation time, laughing a little bit, doing things that rejuvenate them, revive them, restore them, refresh them, and then you come back to it.
Yeah, that's what I need to do. Because, the interview thing, I'm trying to balance. Well, I work part-time, so it's not like, okay, I don't have a full-time yet. I'm working on it. But as far as interviewing people, because I work with different PR companies, I'm like, well, sometimes I don't feel like interviewing nobody. I just want to and cause I write for 2 magazines, besides doing my own thing, writing 2 magazines, working my butt off, with clients. I'm like, okay, sometimes maybe I should take a break from that because, like I said, I'm an author first before any of this.
Yes.
I'm an author first. So, of course, I'm working on my 7th book, typing it up. It's almost done, typing up my poetry. That's my 7th book.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Trying to have it up by July. I'm like, I need time for that, which I do it, type it up and everything. It's not an issue. But I get what you're saying, you got to take a break,
yes.
Just overdoing it and then going back to it, just taking a break. So that's very important.
It's crucial, and I'll say that. It's crucial, and the reason being is one of the greatest examples, and I am a Christian, God created the world in 6 days, and on the 7th he rested. Why do we feel that we have to be superhuman, okay?
Exactly.
We are only human. We are limited in energy and knowledge. So, yes, we could have multiple projects going on, but I'm learning either delegation or something needs to be put on the back burner because you can only be excellent at one thing at a time.
Exactly. So I learned that with my writing. That's my first passion, writing. So focus more on that, Books.
And you should.
Yeah. So I'm, like I said, after May, because I'm booking the rest of the month for May for interviews, I'm like, okay, I got only doing 4 interviews in June. I'm not doing a whole lot. Like July.
Good.
I don't know, July, August, I might have to, take a break, from a month off from writing for one of the magazines or something. Just focus on books and promoting my book.
Yes. You might even want to look at doing a book tour at some point where you are getting more exposure, because you just said that writing books is your passion. Being an author is your passion. So now you want to take that passion to another level. And if you have to, like you said, take a break from some of the other activities and focus on that, because where your passion is where your driving force will be, which can ultimately get you to the place such as New York Best-Time Seller List, okay, or Oprah's Book Club. So you've got to take your time and really grow that and nurture it so it becomes what you need it to be.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm learning it now. I'm like, okay, I've been doing this for so long, and I have nothing against interviewing people and, doing everything. It's just, okay, that wasn't initially my first passion. Like I said, writing and authoring and stuff, that's just natural for me, poetry.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, I definitely get what you're saying. But but I know you mentioned before a lot of times you said people compare you to Ayanna and Lisa Nichols.
Yes.
Which is good. Because I keep missing Ayanna because I know a lot of her episodes on TV on the OWN channel is really good.
Yes, they are.
Yeah. It's really deep. Like, really.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So have you thought about, since you're a motivation speaker and a lifestyle coach, have you thought about having like a talk show or?
Well, I'll tell you this, Patrice. I actually had started last year, and if you ever go to my Facebook page, I have several of them saved. I was doing Facebook Lives on Thursday evenings called Impromptu Conversation with Your Triple C CEO, and I would have various guests on. Well, it kind of hit a little bit of a bump in the road, I guess you could say, and I put that on hold. And that's another reason why, like I said, my whole marketing team, we're revamping those things. But one of my desires from even when I was in college, I attended St. John's University in New York City. I've always wanted my own talk show. But I'm now also understanding that the power of social media goes above and beyond just the average television network, not unless people, it's on a cable network or something of that nature. And so it's something that I've not completely dismissed. I embrace it if the opportunity presents itself, and I know I would do a heck of a job with it. But right about now, I don't know how that's going to play out. I'll say that. I don't know how it's going to play out. It's not completely dismissed or thrown away, but it just needs some tweaking.
Definitely. I definitely feel you because I took a break from my podcast, took a break from my magazine, and, I came back to, of course, the podcast. I don't mind, because I don't have to transcribe nothing. It's just recorded and,
Right.
And then, of course, the magazine is more work because then I'm the only one doing it. So it's like getting the people to be in the magazine, that's a whole nother thing. So I'm trying to reevaluate stuff. But now tell me more about the impromptu conversations with the Triple C.
Okay, now that basically came out because I have a lot of stimulating conversations. And so there were times when subject matters would come to me, and it would be, between a phone call with myself and a girlfriend or a guy friend. And I said, you know what, let's take these things to social media. I'll, moderate, invite guests and different ones on. And, pretty much everyone that I had come on the show was either a business owner or somebody active in the community. So we were dealing with right now relevant issues. But there was some humor to it because one of my friends that I actually had come on, we had not seen each other or connected in over 35 years. He's down in Florida, and I'm here in North Carolina. And I had him come on, and that probably was one of the funniest episodes because he shared with my audience a lot of information about me from when I was a kid, which was really hilarious. But other than that, most of my shows were very informative, and it allowed me to help other people build bridges with writers and, people that were, publicists or people who, like I said, who own their own businesses regardless of industry. Anybody that I extended the invitation to that said yes, they came on and we had great conversation. Sometimes our impromptu conversations were 30 minutes and sometimes we went an hour, but I was committed to no longer than an hour, and I was doing it weekly. That gets to be a little bit cumbersome, and especially with me being a single mom and I'm still trying to stay healthy and fit. Right. So, again, my marketing team now, we're looking at restructuring that, but that right there is something I really enjoy, having people right there live, and folks were typing in comments and asking questions. So it really became a nice platform, and it reached thousands. I mean, people can still go onto the Fashion the Mind, Fashion the Figure Facebook page. They can go into the same videos. They can see the lives and all that great stuff and feel the energy and grasp information. And I encourage people to do that, because there may be somebody that I interviewed and they might, you know what, I need to reach out to this person because they might be able to help me, do A, B, and C. And so that was the whole point, was bringing together the at-large community so people could build and grow together, because we are one race, human race, and we all need each other at some point or another. And it just has that domino effect, and that's what my goal was, to help businesses or individuals build those bridges for life so that they could grow and soar.
Wow, that's good, though. So hopefully, like I said, one day you'll bring it back. I understand what you mean. You got to revamp it and stuff. I definitely understand that. Definitely.
I was doing it all by myself, so you completely understand that. Yeah, when you're a one-woman operation. Yeah.
It's hard. I had to stop my first magazine. I had that for 3 years. I stopped it because it's getting too much. And so I created another one, the Black Stardom. It's a smaller, I'm not trying to be major with the magazine, just something small, for business, for African Americans. That's who I wanted to have, come together. But I know how that goes. But now, I do see that last year of November, you debuted your Class, Confidence, and Courage jewelry collection. So tell me more about that, because I love jewelry. So,
woohoo! Okay, I will tell you, Patrice, I struggled for the longest of time trying to figure out what type of paraphernalia I could offer my audience. Right. And with my audience being majority female, I said I want something different. How many of us have tons of T-shirts? How many of us have little giveaway bags? How many of us have keychains and coffee mugs? And I said, Jennifer, you call yourself the Class, Confidence, and Courage coach. Why not offer women jewelry? You have jewelry that's classy, you have jewelry that's confident, and you have jewelry that's courageous. And it just became a winner. Now, this is the interesting part, and I always give accolades to where it's due. My older sister, I'm the youngest of 6, and my older sister used to say to me all the time, she says, Jennifer, you are so good with putting together jewelry. She was like, have you ever thought about, selling jewelry? And I said, no, sis, because I'm already a part of another direct sales organization that I'm doing very well in. And I was like, no, I don't think I have time to take on anything else. So I said, well, let's put our feelers out there and see what happens. Well, Patrice, little did I expect, within a matter of 30 to 45 days, I have people right now that tell me they stalk my Facebook page and Instagram to see what items I'm going to put out there next. And the distinct thing about what I do is my jewelry, I only offer 1 to 2 of a kind of an item because I want people to have that unique experience. I want them to feel, okay, I'm not going to walk around and I'll see my girlfriend with the same piece on. I want women to always feel special, women and girls, to always feel special. And so with that particular model, and I'll just put it out there, nationwide, whoever hears this, my items go from anywhere from $15 to $35. Nothing is over $35. And that in itself has been a huge hit for all of my clientele because literally people are like, I want it, I want it, I want it. And I take Cash App, PayPal, Zelle, you name it, and I am able to accept payment, and I ship it out to my clients, and they are happy and satisfied.
Well, yeah, because jewelry, a lot of women love jewelry. That's the main thing. They do.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, and the quality is excellent. I have not gotten any bad reviews. I mean, I have repeat business. I have referral business. And all of this is just done through social media. That's it.
That's the main, yeah. So a lot of people, that's how a lot of people make business sales on social media. Definitely. Definitely.
Yes.
And groups and, so many Facebook groups, and then it's a lot you can do with social media selling. You'd be amazed.
Yeah, and I am amazed because literally, like I said, I did not expect for the business to grow this fast. And, I mean, I've even been asked by other people, well, where do you get your merchandise, which I have a supplier and we have an agreement, so I don't disclose. But the products are hand-selected by me, and it's good quality. I stand behind my merchandise, and as of today, I haven't had not one bad review, and people keep coming back. I've even added handbags and brooches, and I also have a monthly subscription. So if anybody says, well, look, I can't buy a piece of jewelry every week, but I can get something once a month, the monthly subscription comes with 3 pieces of jewelry, 1 full cosmetic product, and then there are samples of other products in that box, all for $19.99. You can't beat that.
Yeah, that's a good deal.
That's a great deal.
Yeah. That's wow. Once a month, 3 pieces of jewelry. You said samples. Wow.
Yeah. 3 pieces of jewelry, 1 full size cosmetic, and it could range from a lipstick to an eyeshadow, and then you get some samples.
That is wonderful. Definitely. Because I never, of course, like you say, you have other direct sales that, they sell regular jewelry, but an actual subscription box. Too many people don't do this. So that's good that you are doing that. Seriously, something different, unique. You're welcome. I like unique stuff. I like when people do unique things because it stands out.
Yes.
So definitely
And Patrice, nobody has done the concept yet of combining jewelry and cosmetics. So it's sort of like you're getting your own, personal box where, you're like, oh, okay.
Like the Ipsy bag. What's up with jewelry added?
Right.
I used to do Ipsy all the time. I stopped doing Ipsy. I was getting too much makeup. And stopped too much samples.
Yeah. And that's the thing, because people was like, okay, I'm getting all this makeup, or I'm getting all this skincare, I'm getting all of that, but where's the other fun stuff? And then the other organizations that focus specifically on jewelry, I'll tell you, I did a little bit of research, and a couple of people gave negative reviews about some of the jewelry they were receiving because they felt like it wasn't the best quality, it wasn't what they expected when they saw it in the picture. And it's so funny because I actually have customers. You can go right now on Instagram, and they will tell you they purchase off the picture, but it superseded their expectation because it looked better in person, but they purchased off the picture.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's true. It looks different on the picture than when you actually get it. It looks like something else.
And then you can't pick up the phone and call anybody, so you're kind of stuck with it.
Yeah. Shoot, I see that a lot on Amazon. Yeah, I read reviews. If I purchase anything, I read reviews.
And I encourage people to do that, yes.
Because I got seen a lot of people who weren't satisfied with their purchase. So, yeah, that's important. That's good.
It is. Thank you.
You're welcome. So, let's see. Now, what does woman empowerment mean to you?
Woman empowerment means to me a woman that gets up and can look herself in the mirror and say, I love you no matter what her circumstances. See, I think a lot of times when we think of women empowerment, we think about the powerful woman in the boardroom or the one that's in management making decisions. But no, a woman empowered is a woman that loves herself regardless of what is going on around her, whether she's happy or she's sad, because the love for herself is remaining stable and consistent and not determined by her current situation. That's what women empowerment is to me.
Wow, I like that. I like the definition of women empowerment, because since you're doing a lot, with women, like half your audience is women, so definitely I think that's important. Definitely.
We have to love ourselves, Patrice. If we don't love ourselves, how can we expect anyone else to love us? I this past 30 days, I shared with a couple of folks every day. I look at myself in the mirror, in the nude, and I validate my body, because how can I expect for a man to come in my life and validate my body if I haven't validated my own body? And I have to love all of my imperfections, okay? I'm a mother. I had a C-section. I lost 100+ pounds. So things aren't toned and tight, but guess what? This is what God gave me, and I have to honor it and love it.
Exactly. You're absolutely right. Absolutely. Well, this is a great brand. Something different. Fashion the mind, fashion the figure. So I like that concept. Fashion the mind, fashion the figure. Awesome. So
thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So basically, how can people connect with you?
They can connect with me, one, through my website, and my website is as follows: fashionmindandfigure.com, all spelled out. I'll say that again, fashionmindandfigure.com. And then they can connect with me on social media. On Instagram, I'm Fashion the Mind. On Twitter, I am Fashion the Mind 1, because somebody else had already had Fashion the Mind. And on Facebook, I am Fashion the Mind, Fashion the Figure. And if anybody wants to email me, if they have any questions, if they would like for me to come to their, local community to do a talk, a presentation, because, I'm even starting to mentor now. And, life, I don't call myself a life coach. I call myself a lifestyle coach, because to me there's a difference. Okay, everybody is living life, but what does your lifestyle say about you? So I'm teaching people about the differences of living life and the lifestyle. And so they can reach me through fashionthemind@gmail.com, and that is my email. It'll come right to me, and I'll be more than happy to answer questions or even pick up the phone and have a conversation.
Wow. Well, thank you so much, Jennifer, for taking time out your busy schedule to be on the Rivers Report podcast. I really do appreciate, sharing your vision, sharing your business and everything. And
I appreciate you. Thank you so much, Patrice, for opening this platform and this door for me. And again, I am humbled, so whenever someone says, look, I feel that you are worth me taking the time to come and sit and talk with. This is like two girlfriends talking on the phone right now, but everybody gets to listen into the private conversation. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Well, thank you again. I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you so much
again.
And
you do the same. Thank you. God bless.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Everyone, you have just been tuned in to the Rivers Report podcast. I am your host, That Rivers Girl. You can follow That Rivers Girl on Twitter, The Rivers Report, and on Instagram, That Rivers Girl Brand. Also be sure to follow the magazine, Black Stardom, which is blackstardommag.com. All right? You have just been listening to the Rivers Report podcast show with guest Jennifer Cook. Everyone, I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening. I hope you have a blessed and safe wonderful night. All right, be blessed.